we are live. Bonjour, bonjour tout le monde, bonjour Rachel, bonjour Ali, je suis contente que vous soyez ici au rendez-vous pour ce live hangout. I'm very excited to talk to you all. I want to know where you come from, all of you. Bonjour Jonas, bonjour Fittore. He is going to school, unfortunately. Oh, have a good day at school. Okay, make it worth it. Rachel, bonjour Rachel. Bonjour Ival, bonjour Belle. Thessalonica, bonjour. Tran, bonjour, bonjour. I hope you can all see me and hear me well. Arc, bonjour Arc chez Donny. Bonjour Christina. Bonjour Mademoiselle 73. Now you've got a French name, Mademoiselle 73. Miss 73. Christina. Bonjour Faisal. Bonjour Sonny. Bonjour, bonjour David. Now there's a lot of you, so bonjour Miriam. Bonjour, bonjour, bonjour. Okay, I'm quite happy to Bosnia. Bonjour. And Los Angeles. Bonjour Los Angeles. I'm very, very happy to answer any of your questions. And in the meantime, I have 6 words of slang, words that all begins with the letter B, which I would like to teach you and give you the alternative, obviously the slang word, and we need to guess what the slang word is in the proper way of speaking in French. Okay, Ireland, Iraq, Bangladesh, Algeria, Liberia, oh my God, Palestine, bonjour, and Lausanne, bonjour. Greg from Lausanne. Bonjour, Greg from Lausanne. India. I know that Grenade, Iran, Kuwait, Albania. Okay, that's overwhelming. I'm loving it. Nairobi from Kenya. Bonjour, Africa. Oh, that's exciting. Saudi Arabia and Strasbourg in France. Oh my God, you are from all over. Yeah, okay, you're learning Chicago at 5 a.m. or 5 p.m. Bonjour, bonjour. It's going really fast. Okay, I can't read all of your comments, but it's really exciting that you have come here today at 11 o'clock British time to be able to speak to me. Japan! Bonjour le Japon, bonjour les Philippines et le Maroc. Okay, now I know that we are listened a lot, I am listened a lot in Egypt as well, and a lot of my students come from India. So I would like to say bonjour officially to all Indian people watching me out there, because I know that there is a lot of you listening. America is another big country where we are listened to, so hello. And of course, I don't want to miss out any of your countries, so thank you for listening. You're the reason why I am teaching, because you are actually interested into what I have to say. Anyway, so what I'd like to do, oh, by the way, one of you asked me a question earlier on, where do you come from? What's your nationality? I am French. Je suis Française, of course. Otherwise, I'm not sure I could teach my own language like that if it was not my language, okay? So, bonjour Tanya, bonjour Ibrahim, bonjour Odia, bonjour, bonjour Maureen, bonjour Nuria, Ali, Maurice, Rama. Oh my God, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. That's a lot of you, okay? So, if you have a question, Resham, what is your question? Resham says, answer my question. What is your question? Can you write it again? Because I may have missed it. As you can see, it's going fast and I am not a robot, so I cannot read that fast. So, Resham, have you got a question? Okay. Now, bonjour, je suis au travail de Hawaï. Sorry, pas au travail. Jordanie. Bonjour à la Jordanie. Taiwan. Kazakhstan. Algerian. Ooh, that's amazing. Argentine. Bonjour, bonjour l'Argentine, l'Indonésie. What is the French for Indonesia? Indonésie. Okay, le Népal, le Kenya. Okay, what's your real name? Well, my real name is Alexa. Okay, so that's my name, Alexa, and my surname is Polidoro. Now, to answer your questions, I am French, but my daddy, hence the surname Polidoro, is from Italy. So, half French, half Italian. Moitié française, moitié italienne. Okay? Une promenade et une marche. What is the difference between une promenade and une marche? Now, une promenade is a walk as in a stroll, and une marche is a walk. Now, if you wanted to use this in terms of context, I would use exactly the same. Now, except that promenade is a noun and marche can be used as a verb. So I'm going to take my little pen here and show you, and that's why I have here. Now, someone is just asked what is the difference between une marche and what is the difference between une marche and une promenade. Now, promenade is a stroll really, and une marche is a stroll. So you wanted to say to someone, come and let's have a walk in the woods, you would say, on va faire une marche dans les bois, but equally you could say, on va faire une promenade. Now, faire une marche, to have a stroll or a walk. Faire une promenade, it's the same. Now remember that in French we use the word faire a lot. Okay, do we have any other questions here? I know that you have lots of questions and you want to talk to me, and I wish I could talk to you all. Okay, someone says, can you differentiate between bien and bon? Please answer me. Ayesha, you are quite strict here. Yes, I can answer you. Now, the difference between bien and bon is that one is an adverb and the other one is an adjective, but quite often in French you would not really differentiate. So what is the difference between bien versus bon? Now, can you check and can you guess which one is the adjective and which one is the adverb? Now, remember, the adverb is the way you do things, so it's going to flourish your verbs, kind of, I walk slowly, and slowly is the adverb, which means that it describes the way you walk, okay? Now, bon here is the adjective, okay? That's bon, okay? And bien is the adverb. So if you wanted to translate this in English, okay, because that's obviously, I know that a lot of you don't, English is not your first language, but I know you speak English very well. And I'm always, by the way, always amazed at how you can do my lesson knowing that they are in English and French and your first language is not English. Do you know what? Kudos to you, and I pull my hat because I always think how hard that is. Now, if you were to translate bien, it's well, and bon, it's good. Okay, so you would say, for example, I can swim well. Okay, now which one would you use here? Knowing that to swim is nager, nager. Now if you wanted to swim well, you would obviously use this way, this one here, bien. So you would say, je nage bien, okay? Je nage bien. And obviously it comes right after a verb. But bon, you wouldn't say je nage bon. Okay, you would refer as something being good, as in le chocolat est bon. But you would say le chocolat est bien? Not really, because it is not describing a verb, it's describing an adjective, yeah, a noun, sorry, le chocolat, okay? So I hope that answers your question. And Ayesha, okay, I hope that answers your question. Do you have any other question? I wanted to teach you some things already. Have I been to Indonesia? No. Indonesia, is this an invitation? Because I will come, you know that. Okay. Alexa, I must confess you're the best. Since I come to France, I have been finding it difficult to understand French until I came across your channel. Oh, Odia, thank you, merci, that's really kind. If I meet someone very person, do I still say enchanté? Lovely to see you, Alexa. Marion, hello, Marion. Now, Marion, enchanté, yes. Of course, why not? But not necessarily someone important. You can say enchanté to anybody, really, even to a child. Enchanté de faire votre connaissance. It is nice to meet you. Now, enchanté literally means delighted, okay? I'm going to write it down on my little board here. Now, enchanté, and of course, Miriam, you are using it right here with double E because you're a lady. So it comes with double E and it's an adjective. So enchanté means delighted, okay, happy to know you, okay. Easy Dragon ask, hi Alexa, what is the use of en and in Jean, for example? I can't quite get my head around it. Okay, wait, bear with. Now, Easy Dragon, seriously? Okay, now, Easy Dragons ask, you know en, this pronoun en, okay? When you see it in Jean, what does it mean? Okay, he doesn't get his around, but maybe you out there can answer this question. Now, it is known as a pronoun and it's going to replace something. Okay, for example, and I'm going to write it here if you can say, j'ai 2 pommes. Okay, so you would say, I have 2 apples. Okay, but we do not want to repeat 2 pommes. If you're talking to someone, you want to say, I have 2 of them. Okay, now this is what it means, of them. Okay, so how are you going to do that to put the en without saying 2 pommes again? Well, you do that in French. You add this pronoun en, which means of them. So j'en ai, okay, so that refers to pomme, okay, and you add the quantity you have, 2. I have 2 of them, okay, if that makes sense. So I have a video on this one actually, where please find out the video that is e versus en video, where I explain very clearly this pronoun. Actually, I think it will be good for you to have a look. Do we have another question out there? Now, okay, because of you get A1 in French always. Question, comment distinguer les prépositions sujets? Les propositions sujets. Sorry, are we talking about the subject pronouns here? Or do you speak Italian? Non, je ne parle pas italien. Now, I just want to answer Ori's question. Are we talking about subject pronouns? Very quickly here. Les propositions sujets. I think you're meaning the subject pronouns I think, I'm not sure, but correct me if you're not. Now, obviously they are quite simple, is je, tu, il, elle, nous. Okay, and then you have vous. Oh, sorry, nous is here. Je, tu, il, elle, nous, vous, il, elle. I'm so sorry about the... I usually write on the bigger screen, so I just have... now, what we call them the singulier, okay, sujet, pronom, singulier, and these ones are called pluriel because they refer to several, pluriel, okay. And by the way, plusieurs in French means several, okay, plusieurs, okay, plusieurs, okay. So we have je as in I, tu as in you, il and elle as in he and she, nous as in we, you as in vous as in you, and il and elle as in them. So what you have to distinguish, and I'm not sure whether that's your question, Ori, here is every time you read a text or you want to talk and refer to someone, you've got to establish, is this je, tu, il, elle, nous, vous, il, elle. For example, if you wanted to say Tom et Charlotte in a sentence and you want to add on the verb manger, but I'm not going to finish that, then you've got to tell yourself, if you were to replace Tom and Charlotte, what subject pronoun is it replacing? Is it je, I? So Tom and Charlotte, is it I? It's not. Is it we? Well, it's not, because it will be Tom and I. So Tom and Charlotte refer to they, okay? And once you know that, you know how to say it in French. It's either il or elle. In that case, we have a boy and we have a girl. So which one is it? Is it il or is it elle? Well, because Charlotte is a lady, Tom is a man, and we've got a man and a lady, unfortunately for us women out there, you have to use il. Because grammatically speaking, il is always stronger. Ooh. Okay, so we have il. And once you know the subject pronoun you're using, then you know the ending of the verb you are using. In a present tense, il mange. That's the ending. So they are eating. Tom et Charlotte mange, okay? And that's why it's so important to know your subject pronouns really well, because it all depends on the endings of that word. Okay, so what do we have? Another question. I have Adam on the other side here trying to help me answer. Hi Alexa, my exam of A1 will take place on the 4th of December, so please give me some tips how to score in my exam. Do you know, A1 level is pretty simple in some ways, so please go through as many videos on YouTube that I have produced as possible. Go through the greetings, go through the simple conjugation of verbs, the present tense, the passé composé I think is part of the A1, numbers, colors. Try to make simple sentences describing yourselves. Learn the adjectives as well. I have produced top 100 adjectives as well not that long ago. This video is doing quite well because I think it was needed. So please try to watch as many videos as possible. If you want to take your level to the next level, then I think proper structured classes would be more needed at that point. I heard that in France you should not bring a gift such as a bottle of wine when going to dinner. Is that true? Is it bad manners to do that? Do you know Elle? Elle! I know you, Elle. That's funny because Ellen, I know you. Okay, it's funny because I always bring something, and I always tell my people never come without empty-handed. Bring something no matter what. Okay, but what you could do actually, if you go to France, you could ask, what is it that I need to bring? What do you need? People will be quite, said, oh, bring some pudding then, and you do that. Okay, I have huge problem with French pronunciation and I just can't read properly. Do you have any advice on how I can make it better? I think the reading bit would I just can't read properly. Do you know what? When it comes to pronunciation, it's a matter of practicing with a proper French speaker. That it's okay for you to read it, but if you don't have someone to listen to what you're saying and actually talk back with the proper pronunciation, then you will find it really hard to learn with the proper pronunciation. Do you know? I find that a lot of the kids, as in 16-year-olds children that I teach, have a huge problem with pronunciation. And I tell you why, because though they're in class and they do French 4 hours a week, they do not practice with anybody. And quite a lot of the time, their French teacher is not French. So that means the pronunciation is not there. I mean, I'm not blaming any French teacher out there who's not French. It's not but the pronunciation is really important. Without the right pronunciation, you can't make yourself understood. So it's like a vicious circle. I would definitely try to practice with a French speaker. And I know it's quite hard, especially if you are in a country where there is not many French speakers. But do you practice? There are some amazing Skype courses nowadays where you can practice with a proper French person on Skype. A lot of websites offer Skype private lessons with French speakers. So I would definitely try to do that. Help me, Destroyer 007, help me. I need to learn French, not for exam, but for speaking it fluently. I need a golden advice, please. Destroyer, we all want to speak fluently a language. I'd love to speak Italian fluently. Now, what advice do we have for Destroyer who wants to become fluent just like that? Practice, 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 and be consistent. Any website that is telling you that you can learn French in 5 hours while you sleep is rubbish. I can assure you that. I don't know of anybody after my 25 years of experience teaching that can do that. And the only pupils that I have that can speak fluently now, it's because they are so dedicated into learning the language. Okay, so what you can do is learn. Hey, Lawrence. Hello. Thank you for yeah. £2. Thank you. Now, I think that you've got to be dedicated into learning a language here, and that's it. I can't help you into becoming fluent unless I know your personality and how dedicated you are to learning the French. I find it earlier to read and write, easier, I'm assuming, to read and write, but it's difficult to speak. Always. Odia, it is always, absolutely always harder to speak it. You're going to have no problem into reading it and writing it probably. It will take some time, but the speaking it doesn't come naturally because you want to speak it in the same language as you do, the same pace, with the same facility. I'm not sure where you come from, but when I speak English, I speak it in quite a fluent way. Why? Because I've been learning it for 25 years. Okay, so if you were to try to practice in French, do you know what again? Just do it as many times as possible and just go. I know it's easier to say, but go to the country and practice here. Put yourself for 2 weeks somewhere in a camp where there is no English speakers, no other speakers but French. Please help my neighbor is who are French, and the girl, I have my heart on her. Is that a love declaration, Yash? Are you declaring your love to your neighbor? Okay, I'm not sure. Cooking is fun. Find it difficult to write? Yes, we do. Now, remember that in England here, the GCSE, which is the equivalent of the exams you take when you're 16. And I say that because that's part of my speciality as well as teaching children French, is that they have to say or talk about their holidays, the environment, their family, and so on. But also they've got to do exactly the same thing as writing. So quite often it is important to do both at the same time, okay? I would say for the writing, especially if you're taking an exam, be as accurate as possible, and that will bring you point. But be simple. Don't try to make it hard, because quite often you cannot translate from English to French the same, sometimes the sentences, okay? So I understand that writing is hard. You know, if I were you, I would just take a passage from a French book and handwrite it, just to see whether you can actually get used to the familiarity of, you know, the words in French without understanding. I'm not asking you to understand it necessarily, but just getting used to this, okay? Now, I can't make the nasal ne sound properly. It is very hard for me. Does it sound very strange? If I don't pronounce properly, do people understand what I want to say? Thanks a lot. Ne? No? What sound? What difference? What is the ne sound? As in non, okay, as in Novembre, reconnaissance. I think out there, if you cannot make the ne sounds, and I've missed your name, Sherazade, it's not a problem. I can assure you that it's not a problem. Though I've just said that having the proper pronunciation helps you being understood. And if you're understood, then it triggers a conversation. And then, you know, you can then converse, and then you get more confident. It's a vicious circle. And then you try being more fluent. But the ne sound is fine. I can't, and I wish I could hear you say it, you know. Oh dear, you need we have videos on reflexive verbs. Definitely. I'm sure there is a video on reflexive verbs by the way, okay? I heard here somewhere the difference between que and qui. Again, this is a video that will come up, and soon I'm going to write it down here. Difference between que and qui. What is the difference between que and qui? They both mean that of wish. So to put it simply, la pomme I love apples as an example. La pomme que je mange. Okay. La pomme. I hope it's not qui est verte. That's all I have to say to you. Can you see the difference between the two? Yeah. Que. Yeah. And qui. Okay, so you will always use que before a subject pronoun, and qui will refer directly to the verb which refers directly to the subject. So the qui is direct to the subject, okay? So je mange la pomme, and la pomme is the what we call the COD, complément d'objet direct. So it is a direct object to the verb je mange. So la pomme is not in effect the main character, the main subject of mange. However, here when you use qui, la pomme is direct subject to the verb that comes after that. So I can't explain that in bigger lengthy details because I don't have enough time. But this is the difference between. They're called pronouns relatifs, by the way. Now, what do we have here, Vladimir? You use okay often in your speech. I know. What words, sorry, I've lost it. Where are we? What word do you use in French speech? I know okay is universal, but any other slang words, please? It's 3:20, no lesson, need to sleep. Oh no, Vladimir. Okay, it means okay. But another word very quickly, because Vladimir is going to bed now. You can say d'accord. Okay, d'accord. D'accord. Okay, that's the same. Okay, hope that answers your question. D'accord. But I can't think of any other words actually on the top of my head. So it definitely means okay. Okay. Yeah, d'accord. And you can use it regardless, okay and d'accord, the same. Okay, so see, I've just done that. Okay, d'accord. Alors, by the way, Vladimir, when I said okay in that context, you could easily say donc as well. So, donc, so, okay? So, d'accord? We use okay all the time. I've just proven here. Okay. Can the alphabet impact on the nasal sound and also the letters with dots on the top? Do you mean the tréma? Is that what you mean? I have a video on accents, which I do recommend that you watch, where I explain actually the difference of, for example, you have here, you mean the dot as in the E with the two tréma, like that? Or I with the tréma as well. So for example, you would have it and find it in Noël, and you will find it in maïs. And the reason why it's there is to separate the two letters from the other letters before and after. Because if you had no tréma, exactly the same word without a tréma, this is mais. So one means sweet corn and the other one means but. Okay, and that's the difference between the very important difference that you need to make with the accents here. So I hope that answers your question. Do we have someone else? Madam, love you so much. Tomorrow I have my French Viva. Could you please give me some tips? I'm not sure what a Viva is, Ayesha, again, but ask me a question and maybe I can try to answer. What is the difference between a passé composé and a simple past? And if you interchange them, will it make a difference in meaning? Javi Mike, bonjour. Now, will it make a difference into yes? Well, do you know, I have just finished writing a whole lesson on a passé simple, and the passé simple is known as the past historic. Okay, so you've got the passé composé, which is the normal past tense that we use all the time, as in I watched TV. Okay, I watched TV. So in French we'd say j'ai regardé. J'ai regardé. Okay. Okay, now you've got j'ai regardé ou tu as regardé. Okay, now the passé simple, and it's funny you mentioned that because obviously you're learning it, and it's like the subjunctive. These are two, well, the subjunctive is used all the time. The passé simple is used pretty much only on books and old books as well. So tu as regardé in the passé simple mean tu regardas. Okay, and this is not a tense I teach at all. That's because it is not very common, especially if you just want to speak it. But it's a tense I teach because I want people to be aware of it when they read old French books. But is it something that you do, Javi? I'm not sure. So it's really hard to tell here what is your motivation behind that. So we have Adam is asking, no, Tess is asking a question. Any film recommendations from where the French isn't spoken very fast? Well, I don't know, guys. If you have something for Tess over there to answer, you know, to be able to help, this is hard, I tell you, because I don't know. Maybe I like what French. The thing is, you've just said I can recommend you French films, but where it's not spoken fast is another. It's really hard because all the French films that I would recommend would be spoken very fast, unless you go from film noir where there is very little dialogues in them, you know, and the style is really slow, and some French films are really slow and nothing happens in them. The rest of them, well, Adam is suggesting Gad Elmaleh on Netflix. Okay, you have a lot of films on Netflix that are French. However, Gad Elmaleh is fast when he speaks, so I can't. The French have only one speed when talking. Yeah, that's the speed. Yes. Bonjour, Malaz, and bonjour you. Sorry, I don't read Arabic. I think it's Arabic, but hello to any Arabic country out there. How old are you, Martina? Really? Well, I can't tell you. It's my grey hair is giving it away though. Okay. Now, okay. So sorry, I'm just losing track. Oh, okay. Bonjour, madame. Dan is asking question. Comment c'est écrit? FYI dans un French email. Okay. Pour votre information, I think we would say. In a French email, do you know what? Because I don't often write in French in emails. FYI, for your... I think, possibly... do you know, I wouldn't be surprised if they use FYI as well as in the letter. Pour votre information. I'm not very certain of that. So PVI maybe, but that's definitely need to be looked in. So yes, could you please tell me the imperfect? Is it imperfect? What kind of tense saying? I wanted to do that, but I couldn't. Okay, I wanted to do that, but I couldn't. Now, I wanted. It's definitely the imperfect here. Quite often. The imperfect and passé composé are, you know, quite intertwined as such. So when you want to conjugate I wanted or I was or I had, you would definitely use the imperfect and not the passé composé. So I wanted to do that, je voulais faire ça, mais je ne pouvais, I couldn't. Now remember, guys, that the verb pouvoir can be used to replace could, either in a past tense, which is exactly what we've done here, imperfect, or the conditional as well, je ne pourrais. So could can be in French, you know, used either as pouvoir, as in I could in a past tense, I was able to, and I would be able to. Okay, I hope that's helped. How to identify the word whether it is masculine or feminine arc. Wow, I was waiting for this question. Do you know what? We are writing a YouTube video at the moment for just that. How to identify a masculine or a feminine word. Okay, so le versus la. Okay, so le being masculine and la being feminine. Okay, if I told you féminine, if I told you that 75% of the time, bear that in mind, if the word ends with an E, it is feminine. That's all I have to say. So you would have words such as, let's have a look. Okay, let's have a look. Let's have a look. Let's try to find which one is feminine and which one is masculine. Okay. Le couteau, la chaise, la planète. I know. Try to guess which one is feminine. Okay. La caméra. Okay. Le micro. L'œuf. Okay, so can you tell me which one is feminine? So feminine, 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 and feminine as well, by the way. So you're going to tell me, well, do the words ending with a. Camera is quite a different one because we don't have, I suppose, very many words ending with a. Okay, so camera is feminine. Okay, but masculine, couteau, micro, and œuf. So table, knife, chairs, planet, camera, microphone, and eggs. Okay, so you can do that. However, all the words, by the way, in sillon, like natation, équitation, and with sillon, is feminine. Okay, are feminine. So I hope that helps. Okay, Madam, please answer my question. Resham, what is your question? I can't. Resham, do we pronounce the re in noir? How can I improve my sentence grammatically? Resham, so sorry. Okay. Yes, you do pronounce the re in noir. And how can you improve my sentence grammatically? Be as accurate with your tense as possible. You cannot just throw a verb like that without making it accurate. So, for example, I'm going to be very simple here. If you say nous, you have got, absolutely, you have got to finish your verb with ONS. Okay, so nous habitons. We live. Okay, we live somewhere, nous habitons. Okay, it is very important that you are as accurate as possible. Okay, and that's all. And the rest of the time, try to improve your sentence by making them more complex, using complex adverbs, using complex prepositions, making it longer. You know, this is what I said to my pupils here in London, you know, make it more complex, not baby sentences. You know, you've passed that. So, I have a question. I know that I am very aware that some of you have been waiting for me to answer the question. Sing a French song, please, or recommend. It happens at every... so I'm not going to sing a song because I'm not very good. I would... I like... I like... Oh, Stromae. I mean, you know Stromae. Love Stromae. Stromae. Okay, please check this guy out. He's mega famous and he has a great song called Formidable. And this is definitely for my teenage pupils, definitely a song that I recommend because it has a lot of grammatical points here. Okay, Dia, what are partitive articles? Where there are some de la, and du, and des. These are partitive articles, and they all mean some. So you would use them as I have some butter on my plate. J'ai du beurre. Okay? Du beurre sur mon assiette. Okay? J'ai des fraises dans mon frigidaire. I've got strawberries in my fridge. Now, du means some and des means some. They all mean some, but they are used depending on the gender of the noun that comes after. So if beurre is masculine, you use du. If the word is plural, you use des. If the word is feminine, you use de la. Okay? So I hope that helps. I know it's a mega, short lesson, but I have a whole lesson on YouTube on partitive active group. Brenda, I want to answer your question, but can you teach me the word parler? What do you want to know, Brenda? What do you want to know? Can you please pronounce beaucoup? And madame, thank you so much for the answer. Resham, beaucoup. Now, Brenda, parler. Now, je parle, I talk, or I speak, it means the same. Tu parles, il parle, elle parle, nous parlons, vous parlez, il parle. So if you wanted to say I speak French, you would say je parle français. I speak English, je parle anglais. Okay? So parler. Vladimir, is it true je ne sais pas, je sais pas? Yes, Vladimir. And sometimes we say je sais pas. Now this is something you will hear all the time. So je ne sais pas, and don't expect to see or hear it like that most of the time, because we don't. French people just put it all together and it become je sais pas. Je sais pas. Okay, and that means I don't know. Okay, je sais pas. So quite often you will never hear it, je ne sais pas. You will hear it in a very contracted fashion. You will hear it, sais pas. Okay, so do we have Odia asking, Alexa, please can you throw more light on this? Le hérisson and l'herbe. Why are the different articles? Can't see the, it's moving too fast. I can't see it. Wait. What are the different articles different since they both have an H next to it? It's due to the aspire H and not. So some words beginning with an H, okay, have to be aspiré. Okay, le hérisson, l'hérisson, et l'herbe. So le hérisson has to be separated from the le. And you know what? I'm not entirely certain of that, but I know it has all to do with the H, which is aspiré and not. But to be honest, you will hear l'hérisson with French people. Some French people watching me at the moment might think, whoa! No, you wouldn't, but yes, you would. I can assure you that. So it's not a mishex as such, but we do say le hérisson, we wouldn't say l'hérisson. And we say l'herbe and not le herbe, okay? Or la herbe, une herbe, because it's feminine, by the way, okay? So, yeah, it's very hard to explain this one. Do we have another question? It's going so fast! I'm going to stop in 2 minutes here, but if you have a question, j'ai été, je suis allé. Could you please help me with the difference between j'ai été, Trevian, and je suis allé? Okay, I have been. I wish I could help. I want to try to help now. Very simply, j'ai été does not mean I went at all. Okay. Now it means I have been, as in j'ai été coiffeur quand j'étais jeune. I used to be, okay, a hairdresser. However, je suis allé means completely something different, okay. It means I went. Oh, sorry. I went. Now, two different verbs. One is aller, to go, and the other one is to be, okay. So they both means the same thing. And you wouldn't say, hello, Aya. You wouldn't say j'ai été, I have been, as in somewhere. You wouldn't, okay? Though you will hear it, definitely in France, people wouldn't make the mistake, or it is part of their language, you know, and their culture to say it, but you would say je suis allé for I went, and j'ai été for you wear something, you wear something. Two different verbs. One is to be, the other one is to go. Okay, so watch out. Are you living in France? Malaz, no, I live in London. And Londres, j'habite à Londres. Please, what is the difference between et, and et? That's it. You've heard it. So, okay, you have words ending with et. You have words ending with, venez. I'm going to write venez, okay. And you have et, okay. Now, it depends on your accent, but this is the way I pronounce this one. Allez, venez, and est. Different pronunciation for this one. Tu es, you are. So watch out, er, is, and same pronunciation. Okay. Yeah, that's really. Okay, how do you say er? I have a quite a good video on how to say er. All you have to do is that you put the pen across your mouth and you say er, 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 er. Okay, now we've got, can you conjugate avoir and in dark keyboard 562? Hello, dark keyboard 562. Now, the way you conjugate a verb ending for avoir, for je, it is est. For tu, it is a. For il, elle, and on, it is a. For nous, it is ons. For vous, it is iz. And for il and elle, it's ont. Now, j'ai, I have. Tu as, you have. Il a, he has. Elle a, she has. On a, one has. Nous avons, we have. Vous avez, you have. Ils ont, they have. Okay. Now, and one piece of advice for all you learners out there, watch that, because this is your ending of the future tense. Okay. Learn to have by heart. Absolutely by heart. Okay, that's the best advice I can give you today, and that would help you hugely, enormously, and learn to be by heart as well in the present tense. Okay, and I can see what's the difference between savoir and connaître. I have just done a video on that. Savoir means to know how to do something. Savoir, to know how. And connaître means to know someone, or sorry, and something. To know someone and something. Okay, and so you know how to swim, you savoir, but you don't know connaître how to swim. Okay, but you know someone. Je connais cette personne. Okay, je connais cette personne. Rose, Daisy, please respond to my question. What is your question, Rose? I don't know. Any recommendation for French sitcom? I don't know. The problem is, Rose, and I would love to help, and if anybody out there can help, I'd be more than happy. The problem is, Rose, is that I don't live in France. And I haven't for 25 years, so it's really hard to be in touch with what is the best French sitcom out there, you know. So if anybody can help Rose, please do that. I'm so sorry. I wish I could. I could definitely help you with this one. Okay, nutshell. Okay. Salut Alexa, I'm from Hungary. I've been learning French for 2 months, and can you explain in a nutshell how to use reflexive pronouns? And it's too long to say right now, right, I'm a beginner. Okay, did I say, okay, reflexive pronouns, it is basically anything that you will go back to yourself. So any verbs that you may add myself or himself, for example, at the end of the verb, I am looking at myself. This is known as a reflexive verb, and they come with pronouns. So myself, is in French me. So if you wanted to say je regarde, I watch, okay, and you wanted to bring it back to you, then you would put it before the verb je me regarde, and that means I am watching myself. Okay, and obviously I teach you all the reflexive pronouns in my French Essential on YouTube, so type Alexa reflexive pronouns and they're all taught to you. And I think that, you know, of course, in a nutshell, I can't teach you everything, but that's what reflexive pronouns are. Okay. Is there any other question? Why you don't live in France? Well, that's a bit indiscreet, isn't it? That's because do you know what? It's a very quick question. I believe it or not, and you might believe it. A long time ago, I failed my degree, and because I had a 5 out of 20, I think, so that was a U, not even marked, in English. And I thought, that's it. You know, cannot fail just because of a lousy subject. I'm going to go to England and learn the lingo. And so I arrived back in 1992. You were probably not born then. And started learning English. That was the only motivation. And before you know it, I actually stayed in England because I liked it so much. I thought that people were very welcoming and welcome my accent and my lousy English. And I was not judged. So I decided to stay. What difference between Switzerland French and normal French? Laila, what a good question. I don't know. I think it's the accent. I reckon the accent is very different, but that's pretty much it. If you are from Switzerland out there, please tell me because I don't know. I have a French alphabet. Check out her YouTube channel. Rose, thank you for recommending my channel, my YouTube. Z, how to say hi? Hi. Salut. That's how we say hi in French. Salut. Salut. The difference between un an and une année, again, I have a lesson on that. It's because un an refers to 1 year in particular, and an année will refer to a period of time. And you've got the same for jour and journée. So pendant la journée, during the day, as in throughout the day, et you would say pendant le jour. Okay, le jour will refer to Tuesday, for example. And that's the difference between an, année, jour, journée. Okay, again, there is are there lots of French people in London, L? Yes, a huge amount. There is a whole quarter in South Kensington in West London where you have only French people. French boulangerie. There is a French lycée for kids, believe it or not. There is French everything. Okay, so what? Yes, you have a good British accent. Thank you. What's your mother tongue? French. That's my mother tongue. Okay. So anyway, Adam, French sitcom some Plus belle la vie. Oh yes, Plus belle la vie. Rose, did you hear that? Plus belle la vie. It's well, sitcom. It's like a, I don't know, soap opera. Okay, I'm not sure it's a sitcom though. But yeah, watch that. I don't know. Tell me. Come back to me. Let's see. What is the present and past subjunctive? Seriously, Mohammed? You're not answering my question. But that's because there are hundreds of questions. I can't answer your question, Mohammed. I tell you why. Because the subject, present, subjunctive is so hard to teach just like that, cold, you know. I would need to prepare a whole lesson on that. And you can find that in my course, obviously, that I have a course, learnfrenchwithalexa.com, and there, I've just plugged that one in, where obviously you explain, everything is explained on that, but I can't explain it on the live hangout. Fav movie, man. What? Did you think I can learn French in this age? Rehab, there is no age to learn a language. Now, Rehab said, I'm an Arabian woman, 45 years old. Did you think that I can learn French in this age? Seriously, 45 is so young, and I bet you look much younger than me. And by the way, you are younger than me. Oh, okay. So yes, I can't think that there is you know, an age to learn anything for that matter, as long as you are dedicated to learning. And like you know, Rehab, we're so much more mature, aren't we? So go for it, baby, I say. Anyway, please, what is the difference between neuf and nouveau, new? Oh, yes, you would talk about c'est un, il est neuf, c'est un neuf, I know, neuf would be used without the noun, but nouveau would be used with the noun. So it's a bit like, you wouldn't say, c'est une, yes, you would actually, c'est une table neuf. Nouveau. What's the difference? Maybe Adam can answer this one. What's the difference between neuf and nouveau? I don't know. So nouveau and nouvelle, definitely astro. That's nouvelle because you would use obviously this adjective if it begins, if the noun coming afterwards begins with vowel, you would use nouvelle. Obviously, nouveau is the masculine of new. Okay. And I'm trying to see, I really like your French accent. Merci. Le board. Merci. Ceci, cela, this and that. Okay, ceci, cela. What is the French past conditional? Oh, Mohamed, how many hard questions do you have? Okay, very quickly then, I can answer this one in a nutshell. Past conditional. You are using the conditional I would listen, for example. Okay. Okay, that is conditional. Okay, so we're conditional. So in French, you would say j'écouterai. Okay, so we know that we have to keep the verb as it is and add AIS. But the past conditional, I would have listened. Yeah, so that's the past conditional. Okay, so the way you do that in French, okay, it's really in a nutshell, it's you would need to know how to conjugate I would have in a condition, in a conditional, so j'aurais, I would have, and then écouter. Okay, absolutely two different verbs, tense here. Okay, one is I would listen, the other one is I would have listen. That's a past conditional, which you use as a compound verb, so you use with an auxiliary in the past, in a conditional, and the past participle. Okay, so now we are going to finish. I said that we would finish. It's been an hour nearly. We're going to finish really soon. Here we go. The main difference of usage of the position in the sentence. Neuf is placed after the noun. Nouveau is placed before the noun. Yes. Okay. Thank you, Adam. Are they both correct? Is it easy for this channel? Okay, so okay, Risham, how can one contact me? Well, I'm not going to give you my mobile number, that's a certainty, because this is a live streaming and I don't want any lunatic calling me. But I know you're not, you know, I know that you are hardcore learners and I would love to speak to you individually. However, I can't do that. The only way to contact me, and I would love to speak to you, I would love to do that, is via learnfrenchwithalexa.com, the website. So you have a contact button, and please do that. And if you have any question, I will endeavor to answer it. Okay. So je parle français. Merci pour votre travail. Thank you. Thank you. Riz, Mohamed, Benz. Linda, hello, bonjour. Alchemy child, you don't have a italki? Alchemy, what's oh, italki, they did contact me actually. No, I don't have italki, but italki is really good, and you know, why don't you check it? Okay, I cannot answer anymore. When does the adjective come before the name and when does it come after? Do you know what? I'm going to finish with this. I think it's a very good question. Andrix is asking me, when does the adjective, when do we know that the adjective comes before and after? So what you have to realize is that most adjectives come after the noun. Most of them, okay? Actually, pretty much all of them, except for and I'm going to try to remember this one. Okay, any adjective related to beauty, any adjective related to age, any adjective related to gender, and any adjective related, I can't remember what the S stands for, size. Okay, these adjectives come before the noun. Before the noun. So if you wanted, oh my gosh, sorry about my spelling. If you wanted to say a tall girl, then you would put tall the same way as in English before. Okay, so une grande fille. And if you wanted to add a nice tall girl, then nice comes after the noun. Gentille. Okay, that's a weird example, but that shows you that most adjectives are after the noun and only the adjective related to the bags are before the noun. Okay. So which one of you think it's more complicated, English or French? How long is a piece of string? I say, how long is a piece of string? Okay, now I'm going to stop here. Mohammed, excuse me, you're not answering my question. What is the French present past? Okay, we'll do another live homework on this one, but you have very hard questions, Mohammed, which I cannot just answer just like that. You asked me about the past subjunctive. Seriously, that's hard. I've answered one of your questions already. So come again on the bags. Balidawa, check. Here's what you're going to do. On Google, just tap bags, French adjectives, and you will have an explanation on that. Bonjour, Cynthia, especially smash words together correctly. French is more complicated, sorry. Bensi. Peter Chen, merci, je suis chinois, j'aime beaucoup tes vidéos. Bonne journée. Merci, Peter. Au revoir. Now that's it for me, Emily. Au revoir, Yakuzan. Au revoir, Altemi, Balidawa. And all you guys, your questions were awesome. And le français est plus complexe. Rama, au revoir. Hendrix, au revoir. Sug, bonjour, comment ça va? Whatever French I have learned in from your amazing and clear to the point video. To the point. That's my middle name. I love you. I love you too. Okay, okay. Have a great one. Thank you so much. Kumarav, I haven't seen your message. That's because there was too many. Okay, please, you can still try to chat here. I will try to answer some of the message and come back to some of the message. Okay, so that's it for me, and I hope you enjoy that. Au revoir, à bientôt, and what can I say? Bisous, bisous.